Alright, today's session will keep it simple and keep it moving. No problem. Let's see. Okay. So we've been doing a series called Gita Values. And there are 6 values. The idea is for one to have understood the Bhagavad Gita, or for one to have, for one to want to move forward in spiritual life, to get a spiritual understanding, there are 6 values that help move a person forward. Okay. The first value we discussed was called Samadarshana, seeing equality among all beings. And the equality is that every being is a part and parcel of the divine, regardless of what body they occupy. Human beings, black, white, men, women, handicapped, or what species they occupy. Animals, birds, insects, fish, trees. So it allows for respecting life, because every living being is a part and parcel of the divine. Unless one has that view, the problem will be people see themselves belonging to certain cliques. They're American, I'm brown, they're white or black, right? Or I'm North Indian, they're South Indian, etc. And I'm from this caste, this line, this thing is all nothing but bodily differentiation. So that was one, Samadarshana. Second one was non-violence, ahimsa. And the definition of ahimsa in different levels, one of course is not to cause physical harm. The second level is not to cause any emotional or mental harm through our words or behaviors. And the third level is to not help someone or contribute to someone's spiritual advancement. To not do it is violence. Means if you do nothing, that is also violence. You are supposed to, each one of us is supposed to personally develop spiritually and help others develop spiritually. Then it's non-violence. That is non-violence. Then was amanitva. Amanitva is on a spiritual path, one's real asset is humility. And we discussed the differences and the pitfalls of the opposite. When one is proud or arrogant, then one commits violence. One thinks one is better. And as long as one is proud or humble, then they cannot learn. And the definition of humility, we said, or the operating principle of humility is, I don't know, I want to know. This is humility. But if you say, I know, then there is nothing to learn. And one who thinks that there is nothing to learn can never be humble. Because the arrogance is, I already know. Right? Even the greatest of teachers will tell you, I don't know. Only a fool will say, I know. Yeah, in Sanskrit there is a saying, how do you distinguish between a pandit and a fool? A pandit will say, I don't know everything. A fool will say, I know everything. It's a simple differentiation. So then the fourth one is Acharya. Now Acharya has 2 aspects to it. One is anybody and everybody, regardless of who it is. Progress in spiritual life, one must have a teacher. And to show this principle, even Lord Krishna, who is the supreme, who is the source of everything, he went to school. He didn't need to go to school. But he went to Sandipani Muni's school. But everyone stays there for 15 years. He was there for 64 days. That's it. And he graduated. But the principle is, one must have a teacher. And one must serve their teacher properly and menially. So even Lord Krishna went to the forest, collected wood and came back. Even Lord Ramachandra was serving Vishwamitra, walking behind him for 12 miles every day for many days. They don't need to do that. They know everything already. Still, that principle is important. Okay? So that's Acharya. That's on this side. But the other flip is also true. That each one of us are called upon to behave like to be an Acharya too. The word Acharya means Acharati, one who shows by example. Because there are many spiritualists in the world who will tell you, but if you look at their own life, then they have closed door secrets. There are many skeletons in their closet. So they have a private life and public life. Private life. Everything is public, fully transparent, because they have nothing to hide. So we are called upon. If you are learning, then you should also teach. Like in university, you have a teaching assistant, right? They are a student. Any of you teaching assistants? Or research assistants? Teaching assistants? I was a teaching assistant. I didn't know the subject, but since I am learning, we are teaching. To the degree that I know, I teach. That's called Acharya principle. I should walk the talk. That's a more common phrase. I should walk the talk, not just tell people. So that's what we're going to cover today, Acharya principle, and see where it takes us. I will need your help to read the slides because they're in English and I don't know English. Okay. So what's this says? We're going to skip that one. All right. I'll read the question and I want to hear your views on this. And the question is, why role models have left a lasting impact on our lives? Does anyone have role models? You don't tell me who they are, but do you have a role? So I want to hear from you, what is it about them that leaves a lasting impression on you? Some quality that you like. Give me if you're your role model, give me a quality.
Maybe like the quality that so all these are like the qualities in
for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So they inspire you that when you have to make decisions, like you try to emulate their style of decision making. Okay, very good. What else? Perseverance. Say more. What is it about your role model that inspires you in perseverance?
Even when things don't go the way they want to, they still do it to their best of their ability.
They don't give up. Right? That's what you mean? They don't give up.
Yeah.
So obstacles don't dilute their determination. Very good. Anything from this side of the aisle?
So, like they have already traveled a path. We are like on that. We are maybe just started. They have already traveled that. So sometimes by emulating, you learn. So
because they've already tread the path, they tell us, hey, here are some pitfalls. Here's what you should look for. Here what you should be careful about. Very good. What else?
Like they impacted, like we can see that they have impacted many people's lives.
It's inspiring that they have contributed to other people's lives. Okay? Anything? You have a role model?
Hmm.
What is it about them that inspires you?
So it's like the qualities we see which are not able to reach to a particular goal.
Very good.
We see that person has already achieved.
So give one quality of your role model.
Like to be consistent enough so that sometimes it happens like if we start doing a thing but we don't keep it in a consistent way.
Right.
So that's
I was taught that the key to succeeding in any endeavor is only two things. Quality. So whatever you do with good quality, and second is consistency. You do it regularly. Don't one day you do something and then next week not do. You do it consistency. Okay, very good. Anyone else? Anything from you? Okay. Kindness. Oh, very nice. Say more.
I have a person like a role model and she's very, very kind. I mean, in her actions to everybody around me.
Very good.
That inspires me too.
Excellent. The reason we have role models, there are three reasons. Okay. One is to show us what someone who can achieve something, what it looks like. First purpose. Second, it shows us how to follow. Second. And third, it shows us how far we are from that. Right? There's a gap in that we have to cover the gap. Remember the word liminal space that we looked at the first two times? Alright, next one. Alright, someone can read that.
Your walk talks and your talk talks, but your walk talks louder than your talk talks. John Maxwell.
Clear? This is your walk talks. That means how you behave. And your talk talks, what you say. Both are there. But how you behave is more important than what you say. There is a very famous saint, Saint Francis of Assisi. You know Saint Francis of Assisi? You heard the name? Saint Francis, you heard the name?
Francis of school's name.
Yeah, so Saint Francis is from a place called Assisi, and he was specially known and became a saint and was given sainthood because he was very kind to animals. So even now in New York, every year they have a parade for Saint Francis, and people get their pets from all species, lizards on nice pillows, pet tarantula, pet this, pet that, right? The idea is kindness to animals. So Saint Francis said something that has actually inspired me a lot in my life. He said, you should preach all day. You should preach all day, and when necessary speak a few words. Same thing. Now John Maxwell is getting this from somewhere. Bhagavad Gita. In the third chapter, Lord Krishna says something very similar. Yad yad acharati leaders in society, yad yad acharati, however it is, tad eva itar jana, other people will follow them. Sayat, such persons, whatever they say, lokanam, the general people, tad anuvartate, they will also follow like that. So, how parents behave, children will follow. How leaders behave, the followers will follow. How teachers do, the students will follow. Right? So, now each one of us has some role to play in society, especially if you're becoming more serious in spiritual life, then by natural occurrence you become a leader in the society, because people look up to you. Oh, you're spiritually a little bit more advanced than me. I want to see how you behave and talk now. So how you behave is twice more valuable and impactful than what you say. Okay? So please remember, it's not, giving advice is easy. Following the same advice is not easy. Alright. After John Maxwell. There you go. Bhagavad Gita chapter 3. You want to read?
Whatever action a great man performs, common man follows, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary act, although words pursues.
Yeah. Come on in. Alright, so now we're going to do a little bit more exercise. Perfect timing. So here's an exercise we're going to do. Okay? Can you read for me slowly and loudly, please?
Think of a person who positively influenced your personal life, childhood teacher, a historic hero, family member, any contact, etc.
So you're going to think of someone who had an impact in your life. Oh, hold on, before we do the exercise, all of them settle down. Hi guys, I thought I was late. Alright, settle down because we're going to do this exercise. We're talking about role models and people who inspire us in life. Okay? So think of a person, all of you, think of a person who positively influenced your personal life, whoever that is. A teacher, a historic hero, family member, someone you knew or whatever. So that's the first part. Second, go ahead. Go ahead, read.
Quality of them attracted you the most. Write down how did that influence you the most. Write down.
Okay? So you don't have pens, if you want to write, you have phones, you want to type, whatever. We'll give you about 4 minutes. Let's see if you can type fast. Alright? You're going to do this part of the exercise. You're going to write down what quality of theirs attracted you the most. How did that influence you the most? You need a pen and paper? Anyone needs pen and paper? I didn't think so. I also don't write anymore. This would not be the time to update your Facebook profile and write that I'm bored in IIT or something. Or send a text to mom and say, I'm hungry. Send a text to dad and say, send me more money. You can do that at 8:30. So in this part, second part, it says, how did that influence you the most? I don't want you to write just that, oh, I was inspired. I want to have an example of how that helped you in your life. Hey, come on in. Yeah, come on, have a seat. We're just doing the exercise on the screen, so feel free to join in. You're done? You need more time? I don't know what silence means. You need more time? More time? More time? Sure. You need more time? You done? You can write on paper or type on phone. I'm not sure, right? All right. Any volunteers? First part. What quality of theirs attracted you the most? Any volunteers? Yeah.
The calmness.
Huh?
The calmness. They're very calm.
Oh, their calmness. Oh, very nice. Okay, can you give me a situation where you saw them very calm
Like
in their life?
in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going through a very difficult phase. Their father passed away.
Oh,
It's very chaotic, and they, even though they were going through a lot of pain, they were very calm and took care of the situation very well.
very inspiring, huh? Good, good. Anyone else?
So, being bold.
Bold. Talk about it.
My mom, she is always bold. Any circumstances or any situation, she answers very, very bold manner. I will answer. If I am not very bold,
When you say bold, you mean courageous bold?
like, for example, like we have so many people here. I tend to hesitate to talk, but she's not like that. She just comes and talks casually.
Nice.
That kind of boldness is what I want.
Confident.
Confident.
Excellent. Alright. One more. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Give us an example.
So he's just covering for me class, and the Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai for cancer patients is totally free. So he's a rich person, he's donating a lot. And his is also simple. He still lives in a 2 BHK apartment, being a billionaire.
Excellent. Simplicity and, you said simple, right? Simplicity and charitable nature. Very good. Okay, others, part 2. How did that influence you the most? Whatever persons that you are inspired by, how does that influence you? I want to hear a situation that you were in, that role model inspired you to do something that you otherwise thought you couldn't, or it helped you. Anyone? Volunteers?
I think same goes with me. I think I've written my mom because she's a very positive person. So, and I'm a bit negative when it comes to any situation. Like, if anything like goes a bit out of my comfort space, or like, out of my control or something like that, and I tend to become a bit negative, and that okay, things are not going as per I thought, or like something like that. So like at that time I just prefer to talk to her, because like one sentence of her also would motivate me and give me a lot of calmness and peace of mind, go through my day or go through that situation or go through that problem.
Excellent.
So, I think in every aspect, it's just she's very positive. Like she just say, just keep your head space right, and you can achieve anything in your life. I mean, small things like everyday things.
Good. Very good. Just a sidebar before I ask someone else. You know the answer to the question, how to make God laugh? You know the answer how to make God laugh? Huh? No. Killing your plans. All right, next one. Anyone else?
About me, I inspire by my younger brother cousin.
Okay.
He's very balanced with his responsibilities. And so when I am trying, because like I belong to the same family, so when I am trying to do the same things, I think like I miss something that he did. And when he's doing this some jobs and all, he's doing very well. So this is the thing that.
Okay, very good. So do we need role models or no? Obviously answer is yes. So now there are different role models, but by definition the word Acharya means one who teaches by his or her example. They lead by example to show how it is to be done. Okay. How does a teacher exemplify spiritual life? So there are role models who teaches, certain characters or characteristics. Some inspire us in sports, some inspire us in business. What about a teacher in spiritual life? The question is, how does a teacher exemplify spiritual life? Any guesses? Any thoughts? Yeah?
It may change how do we tackle the situations, maybe.
How do we tackle the situation? Okay.
They show you how it's like actually done. It's like one thing to just read like the scriptures or whatever literature is that anyone can do. But actually imbibing that, bringing that into your real life is a different art. So
scriptures, we may understand the theory of it,
yeah.
but how to live it. Okay, very good. Anyone else?
Towards preaching what he knows to his followers.
He or she. You're in America, you have to say he or she. Because there are she's also. Okay. Important. But yes, that's true. Dedication. They inspire us by being committed to that path of self-realization. Anyone else? Any ideas? Alright, let's see if there's more. Alright, so first one we talked about was exemplifying equal vision, seeing spirit in all living entities. Right, that is from Bhagavad Gita. Can someone read that for me, please? Someone?
The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision, learn and knowledge and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog Gita. Outcastle Bhagavad Gita 5.1.
So that is Samadarshana. They don't, while they see distinction of body, that's an elephant, that's a Brahman, that's a cow, it's a dog, while they see all the distinctions of their body, but within every living being, they can see the spark of divinity. That is called equal vision. So they don't have hatred towards any living being. Alright, next one. Simple living and high thinking. Alright? Generally, how people live is simply living and hardly thinking. From there, one has to go to simple living and high thinking. I can narrate to you this story. This is a very famous story. Well, first let me show you this characteristic. You know who this is? Yes, he's not a musician or instrument wala. Okay, this is Narada Muni. This is his friend. All right, his name is Angira Muni. This guy, his name is Mrigari. In Sanskrit, the word Mriga, Ari means enemy and Mriga means animal. So, hunter. And his profession was hunting. And he would very, very mercilessly every day get up in the morning, go out and hunt animals. But he had a speciality in his hunting. He didn't like to kill them. He only liked to half kill them. He liked to see those animals suffer and slowly die. Somehow it gave him a lot of pleasure. So one day when Narada Muni met him, he told him, why are you doing like this? Just kill them, end it quickly for them. So when he got taught, because usually sages will never give such advice, they will say don't do it. It's rare that a sage will say just do it quickly and end it. Why did he say like that? Because at least that is better off than half killing them and seeing them writhing in pain and dying slowly, because the pain is too much. So Mrigari became very interestingly asked, who are you? And they had a little conversation. And he asked him, why do you say kill them swiftly? So Narada said, well, if the way you are torturing them according to the laws of karma, each of that animal has the right to subject you to the same thing in your next life. So can you imagine how many lives you have to go through for each of that animal to settle the score with you? So Mrigari had a sudden awakening, if you will, just by Narada's words. And he said, I don't want to do any of this anymore. What should I do? And I want you to teach me how I can lead a clean life. So Narada taught him, you should chant the name of the Supreme and live a simple life, blah, blah, blah. Simple living, right? And Narada went away, and almost a year later or so, he returned with his friend, Angira Muni. He said, I want to go see how Mrigari is doing. And while they were walking to meet Mrigari, Mrigari saw them from a distance, got happily and started running towards them because he was happy to meet Narada, his guru now, right? But the way he was running towards Narada was, he was skipping, then stopping, then getting on the floor with his cloth, moving something like this and running again. So they were little interested why he is running like that. So when he came close to them, they asked, why are you running like that? He said, while I was running towards you, I saw a lot of ants crossing and I didn't want to step on them. So with my cloth, I was slowly moving them away. So what is the transformation from killing animals mercilessly, waiting to see them die painfully, writhing in pain, to now not even wanting to harm an ant? When we walk, we hardly notice an ant, right? We just walk. But Mrigari suddenly became so aware and so gentle. Okay? What is it? It is because of Narada's presence. That is called transformation. Transformation means, in a simple way to explain, we have a paradigm of life. We live life according to certain values and paradigms. And when we meet a qualified teacher, they help us transition from that lower paradigm to a higher paradigm with conviction and gusto and enthusiasm. And that is what's called the Acharya principle. Narada was the person for Mrigari, right? To bring such a big transformation. So that's this of simple living and high thinking. Generally, in the path of bhakti, an Acharya teaches that there are 9 processes. So we're going to go through this quickly because I haven't given you a background on this. But there are 9, and I'm going to, let's see if they're all listed there. Okay. So the 9 are here. I'll say the Sanskrit. Tell me if you know their English. One is called Shravanam. To hear topics that are of higher dimensional order, like we're doing now, right? It's called Shravanam. The next is Kirtanam. For us to hear, someone has to speak, right? Generally, a teacher speaks and the student listens and asks questions, right? So here, this is Shravanam and Kirtanam. Then there is this one. This is Prahlad. He exemplifies the process called Smaranam, which means to always remember. Right? Now, generally, whatever we hear and whatever we repeat, that's what we remember. Right? Even in school, we were taught to repeat tables. That's how we learned. But even now, a song, you will hear it many times, you will sing it, then naturally you will remember it. Even when you are not thinking about the song plays for you in your mind. Right? This is called Smaranam. And the idea is to hear from a teacher such that even without being conscious of it, you are remembering spiritual teachings. Okay, Smaranam. I'm going to skip. There is Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, etc. I want to cover and finish, that's why. Alright. Another principle of an Acharya is, can someone read that for me?
Service to awaken others.
Loudly.
Service to awaken others' eternal spiritual nature.
The function of a teacher is to awaken in other people their own spiritual nature. For example, I want to ask you, why does wood or paper catch fire? If you want to light fire to, let's say, a piece of wood, what do you need to do? What would you do if you want to burn a piece of wood? Huh?
Rub them against
You only have one piece of wood.
break it into 2 and then
You have one small piece of wood. You bring it near fire, or you bring fire to the wood. When you bring fire to the wood, why does that wood burn? Physics?
it's a bad conductor of heat.
No, bad conductor of heat. But why does wood burn? Because of something called latent heat. There is heat in the wood already. Well, according to Vedic knowledge, there is fire already in the wood. Just it is latent. But when you bring an external source of fire, then the internal source or internal fire comes to a temperature where the wood can burn. Right? So in our self, there is this eternal being, Atma, which is right now sleeping or texting or doing something else, is sort of distracted. You need an external source that is spiritually awakened to awaken our dormant spiritual life. That is why you need a teacher. That's what it means. Without that, it's not possible. You take an iron rod, you put it in fire, somehow the iron rod takes on all the values and qualities of fire. Although it's iron, there is the power of fire. That means an external personality, a teacher is necessary to awaken. Can one's spiritual, nature awaken on its own? Is it possible? It's possible for difficult. I would say it is very close to impossible. Is very, very, very rare. And in fact, it is not possible. If it does happen, previously there is some contact with a teacher or guru. Otherwise, it's not possible. Just as a piece of wood lying there automatically cannot catch fire. Alright, let's see, is that the end? Fine. Most important one. Generally, when someone talks about spiritual life, people think it's impractical, it's difficult, or it's not for me. One of the functions of a teacher is to show that spiritual life is practical. It is possible. In all our conditions and situations and difficulties, whatever we may be facing, it is possible and practical. Whoever we are. Okay, someone read that for me.
We are not perfect and beings.
Anyone ponder that question? Because the call is that each one of us needs to be an example. So the question being raised is, if I am not perfect, how can I be an example? What would you say?
Like the degree is like various in degrees. Me to some degree, so you can be an example.
Correct, and you can be an example to someone else. If you look at it from a school perspective, right? You have a kindergarten teacher, a first grade, 5th grade, 10th grade, and a college teacher, right? They all teach different level of math. But it doesn't mean that if someone cannot teach college math, that they cannot teach grade school math. And even in grade school, if you know a particular problem better than your friend, then you teach what you understood, right? That's all it is. Then well, let's go this one. I'm going to skip because we're at 8:30. If I have to tell you all these stories, these are fascinating stories. I need about a couple of hours. Alright, this is the most important one. In everyone's life, there is a challenge, there is a difficulty, there are obstacles. And somehow, all we have to do is, this is the operating word here, strive to follow. Strive means we don't give up, we don't throw in the towel, we make small incremental progress. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, then the second step, very good, and you keep moving. Although when you look at it, you think, oh, that is so far away, but you keep. Anyone fly from here to India on Etihad or Emirates or Qatar or whatever else is? As soon as you sit in the plane, they tell you it's about a 14-hour journey. Any one of us had the experience where you look at the clock and you say, it's only an hour? I still have 13 to go. Anyone had that experience? I just flew recently and I was like, man, this is a never-ending flight. But it just keeps going slowly and slowly and slowly. And by the time you are frustrated, it's about to land. But it has to start somewhere and keep going. You have to make small steps in the right direction. One of the definitions of progress is small steps taken in the right direction. So there are many great personalities who have striven and made their and other people's lives successful. Any questions, comments? Alright, quickly this list. An Acharya inspires integrity. What does that mean? What does integrity mean? Huh? Honesty. What does integrity mean? Not sure. Okay. Anyone?
Bringing something
Integrity, no.
What we do is true or false. Everyone false. What we are doing.
Strength in your character. What did you say? Sorry?
True or false. I mean, what?
True or false? Integrity means the strength of character to be able to say, this is my strength and this is my weakness. So some people said honesty. Correct. But integrity is honesty and other things included. Teaching by example is the essence of education. Leading by example is the essence of governance. See, and third one, exemplifying one's principles is the basis of dignity, respect and trust. If one can walk their talk, then they live a life of dignity, respect and trust. If we say something to somebody, but we ourselves cannot do that in life, no one's going to trust us. And we have no dignity and we're weak. So we inspire you, we request you to take it up to study the Bhagavad Gita. There are many hidden gems in it, and learn from it, benefit and benefit others. Because a human life is only meaningful when it is of use to others. Otherwise it's better than an animal life. Actually in this world, every animal, tree, bird, somehow they are benefiting others in small ways, although they are not conscious of it. A peacock doesn't think, oh, I need to give my plumes to somebody. Or a cow doesn't think, oh, my milk is for someone else. But the human being can consciously and wantingly want to benefit others. Then is called human. Otherwise just species with, or an animal with 2 legs and 2 hands. Very, very important. Alright, any questions, comments before we end? Thoughts? Does that make sense to you? Why this principle is important and why it is there in the Bhagavad Gita? Any comments, questions, objections? Okay, we'll end here, we'll pause. I think we're done for the semester, right? Okay, so for this semester we're done. In next week is Thanksgiving break and then the finals, right? Okay. For most of you. Alright, and then there is a break in December, and whenever school starts in January, we'll meet again. And Vaishali will, I guess, give you all the details. Are all of you on the VVS mailing list? Anyone not there? So we'd love for you to be part of that, so we can inform you as to what are the upcoming talks and events on campus. We've been doing this for 15 years. I would like to continue, at least I'm committed to continuing, and you're all more than welcome to come join us. Alright, so thank you. I wish all of you I guess much success and best wishes as you go through. How many of you this is the first semester here? Wow. Okay, good. Yeah, good luck for it. Not just for exams, but make sure that your jackets are padded. There's a secret about managing the. This has nothing to do with Bhagavad. There's a secret about how to manage. If you have one jacket, it's a bad idea. The very simple physics principle operates here. Layers. You're always supposed to dress in layers. A couple of shirts, a thin jacket, and a thick jacket. That way you are able to regulate the body temperature much better. If you have only one jacket and that happened to be very thick and warm and you're sweating, you can't take it off. Then it's too cold. So when you have layers, you protect yourself better. That's one. Second, and this is more of a request, please, 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 always cover your head and your feet. Many of us are from many of us, or pretty much all of us are from India, and we don't have the habit of wearing socks, and we bear the cold by walking out. It's only a short walk, I'll go quickly run and get something, and I don't put on socks. It's the worst mistake you can ever make. Always put on socks and cover your head. Then you'll be fine. I've been doing it. This is my 24th year here. So far, I'm survived. Okay, so just a piece of advice for you. All right. Thank you, and good night and good luck. Take care. There's dinner for everyone here.